KISS was formed in 1973. Bassist Gene Simmons met rhythm guitarist Paul Stanley through a mutual friend, and they formed a band called Wicked Lester. But they weren't happy with the direction, so they split the band up to start a new one. The two found a drummer in Peter Criss who had placed an ad in Rolling Stone magazine. After rehearsing as a trio for a little while, they held auditions for a lead guitarist. Through the auditions, they found Ace Frehley, who famously walked into the audition wearing one red sneaker and one orange sneaker. Inspired by Alice Cooper, KISS decided to wear gothic makeup and costumes after discovering that the glam look popular in New York at the time didn't look great on them. They recorded a demo with Eddie Kramer and then found a manager in Bill Aucoin. He got them a record contract with Neil Bogart's Casablanca Records. KISS was the first act signed to the label. Their self-titled debut album was released on February 18, 1974. It was produced by Kenny Kerner and Richie Wise. The main problem with the record is evident almost immediately. The production is thin and unimpressive. The band's energy is almost non-existent. When compared to other versions of the songs, like the Kramer demo or live versions, the versions on KISS sound really unimpressive. Peter said, "We had hired Kenny Kerner and Richie Wise as producers, which to me was baffling. We had done a Dynamite demo with Eddie Kramer, why weren't we using him? I didn't know it at the time, but Kerner and Wise went back a long way with Bill and Neil. They were in a group that recorded for Neil, and they went on to produce for him, so they got the gig. Kerner and Wise's job was to capture the energy of the live show on vinyl, but it wasn't there. There were no balls between those grooves. They were making us sound like a pop band. To my taste, they had great songs, and they made them sound pedestrian. The strength and the energy and the power of our band had been blunted. We were all really let down." Stanley said, "Old school engineers didn't believe in pushing the meters into the red. They thought it was wrong. You didn't want distortion. You didn't want to overdrive things." Kenny and Richie's engineer definitely fell into that school, and it affected the recordings. So our record came out a bit flat. The guitars sounded plinky and piano-like instead of big. Gene's bass runs got lost. The vocals had more of an ambient quality. The overall sound lacked breath. I don't think it's a bad recording, I just don't think it's as good as other versions. I do think the song is an immediate indicator of the band's strengths. The vocal harmonies between Gene and Paul. Ace's leads are really great. Paul's lead vocals are really strong. It's a really fun song. Paul and Gene wrote the song together based on an older Gene song called Stanley the Parrot, and it remained a live staple for decades. The Donnas did a fun cover of the song for the Detroit Rock City soundtrack. The song was the third single off the record, but it failed to chart. Written by Gene, this is the first single off the record, although it also failed to chart. This is my favorite song on the record. I think it's really fun. It's really catchy. I get why this was the single. I love the big gang vocals on the chorus, especially Peter's part. But I also get why it didn't go anywhere as a single, considering it's a song about Gene trying to persuade a girl into anal sex. Paul based this song on a track called Fire Brigade by The Move. He wears his influences on his sleeve. This song is super fun. It's got a great riff, and it features one of Ace's best, if not his best, solo. His chicken-picking style is really cool and gives him a unique feel. This was Ace's first contribution to the band as a songwriter. He said, "It was a song about loneliness and poverty, hard times in general, and the comfort that can be found in a bottle. I have to admit, I'm not even sure what I was trying to say or why I wrote a song about gin, let alone cold gin. I didn't drink gin. I wanted to write a drinking song, and cold gin sounded like a great title." My only complaint is that there isn't a guitar solo. It feels like a missed opportunity to waste Ace like that. The band also wanted Ace to sing the song. The whole idea is that there are 4 writers and 4 singers. It's like the Beatles. There isn't one star, they're a band. but Ace didn't want to sing it, so Gene sang it. This was the first song Paul played Gene when they initially met. It's also the first time that Gene and Paul share vocals on a track. Gene sings the first and third verses while Paul sings the second. It's a really fun song, and I think their vocals, Gene and Paul's voices go together really well. This is a weird one. It was not actually on the original release of the record. Neil Bogart thought that the band needed a better single, so he requested that they cover Bobby Rydell's Kissin' Time. The track was then tied in with a radio promotional kissing contest, although most of the participants probably didn't know who Kiss was. The band agreed, although they requested that Kissing Time never make it on any Kiss record. The song has appeared on every pressing of the first album since. It's a catchy song. Gene, Paul, and Peter trade lead vocals on the verses, which is really cool. It's also the only single to chart, peaking at number 83. Written by Gene, this is a major highlight. The riffs are great, Ace's solos are incredible, it all comes together. Which is funny because the lyrics are absolute nonsense. I don't think they mean anything. I don't think Gene even knows what they mean. But it's a perfect summation of the band. It's melodic and catchy, but there's a fire and intensity to it. This is the worst track on the record. It was originally part of a song called Acrobat. Kerner and Wise decided that the album needed like a love theme. So they took this short instrumental section of Acrobat out and it became Love Theme from Kiss, which is a shame because this is the least interesting part of Acrobat, and it sucks that that's what made the cut. It is one of the only songs to feature all four members of the band as co-writers. Written by Gene and Paul, this one's cool. There's kind of a jam quality to it. I think bigger drums and crunchier guitars would help it a lot, but this version is fine. Written by Paul, this is another major highlight. The song construction is really great. I love all of the riffs. Ace's solo is great. Paul sings the acoustic intro before Peter takes over on lead vocals, and his voice really fits the track, and I think it all really comes together. It's a major highlight. The debut record was not a massive success. It peaked at number 87 on the US Billboard charts and didn't go gold until 1977. Despite that, it holds up reasonably well. Many fans would argue it's one of the band's best records. And I get that from a song perspective. The only bad song is an unimpressive instrumental ballad. But the production is so weak and takes down the record so much for me. I love these songs, but when I listen to them, I listen to the other versions, whether it's demos or live versions, especially the ones on a live. It's a decent debut, but it could have been so much better. Hi, if you enjoyed this video, please like and share it. If you want to be notified about future videos, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.